This is hard work. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chloe. Today, as you can see around me, I'm going to be filming what is on my TBR and reorganising my TBR cart. What I really am aiming for today is to try and aim for priority reads. I've got a 3-tier book cart: priority reads, reads, and ones that I'm not really interested in reading at this moment. So first of all, I'm going to go through every single book that I have, and as we go through them, I think I'm going to decide what level they are on my tier system. So when I film my TBR pick with my TBR jar, we'll try and pick from the top level, and then if not, we'll work to the second, and so on and so forth. Okay, some of them as well are series, so obviously I'm aware that the first book, if I've not started it, will be on my priority and the rest won't be until obviously the first one's read, so that's a little disclaimer for you. It currently looks like this. I actually got this from Aldi and it was like £15, and I saw it and I thought, oh my god, yes. So definitely a book that I want to read sooner rather than later, is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I'm so sorry if that's pronounced wrong. I've heard incredible things about this and I really, really want to read it. I should probably mention as well that I kind of want to do this quick fire because I think I have about 80 books. So we need to go. We need to get this rolling. Another book I really want to read, which is definitely going to be on my first shelf, is A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. Also amazing sprayed edge. Can't wait to read that. Galentine's Day by Rebecca Anderson is also on my top list. I'd also like to finally delve into the Shatter Me series, so I think it's only right that I at least put the first book on that first shelf. I also would like to put Love Theoretically on this shelf as well, because I've read Love Hypothesis and I'd really like to carry on with the Adley Hazelwood series, or all their books in general. I have just read Bride and I'm about to start Mate, so it'd be good to continue because I'm really, really enjoying her writing at the moment. Another big one for me at the minute is Say You Swear by Megan Brady. I've heard that if you love Boys of Tommen, this gives a similar vibe, and if you don't know, Boys of Tommen is absolutely insane and it's one of my favourite series I've ever read, ever. So I definitely want to get delved into this. I would also really love to tuck into The Favourites by Lynn Fargo, so that's going on my top shelf. The next book I'm going to put on is the next book in the Elsie Silver Ranch series. I'm not sure what the actual series is called. I've only read the first one, but I can't remember what one is next. So I'm just going to hypothetically put one on for now, and then I'll check once the recording's over. I think that's the easiest way for me to do it. Another book I'm absolutely dying to get into is Nightshade. I've heard incredible things about this and I'm obsessed with the sprayed edge. So this is definitely on my I want to read it now. This is A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I've heard this is heartbreaking and heart-wrenching and I really want to read it, so I'm going to put it on my top shelf. I've just realised that I think Love on the Brain is the second one and not Love Theoretically, so I'm going to switch those around and put this one on the top shelf. If I'm wrong, I'll soon know and switch it back. So because of that, I'm going to put Love Theoretically on this second shelf. Next up is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I've actually not read a book by Emily Henry that I can think of, and I really want to get into it because I know a lot of people rave about her writing, so that's going on top shelf as well. Okay, I'm gonna get some ready and put them on my second because I'm already running out of space on my top shelf. So let's put some on my second. So these are mid-priority. I have Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. I absolutely love Lynn Painter, but I've recently just read one of hers, and I kind of like to, when I'm reading an author, unless it is a series, I like to break up the books that I'm reading, so I'm going to put this on the second. I'm also going to do that for Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Another book that people are raving about that I really want to get into is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. That's going on my top shelf. I've decided to pull a lot of the ones that are not as priority, so we can put these on the bottom shelf. So I have Grin and Beard It by Penny Reid. I've heard this is really good actually, but it's just not something I see myself gravitating to at the moment. How Not to Murder Your Ex by Katie Marsh. Haunted Ever After. This is on a low priority because I feel like this is definitely more of an autumn read, so I think I'm going to hold off on this one. The Murder Game by Tom Hindle. All the Bright Places. This of course was made into a movie. I did read this a long time ago, but I can't really remember much about it, so I kept the book because I would like to read it again, but because I've already read it, it's very much a low priority. The same goes for Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I also have The Host by Stephanie Meyer. 5 Feet Apart. Again, I have already read this, but it was so long ago that I wanted to read it again, but it isn't a priority at the moment. Morbidly Yours. This is by Ivy Fairbanks. Again, this is more of an autumnal read, so that's why it's not a priority at the moment. Another one that's a low priority at the moment is People Watching. Now, I do really want to read this, but I am kind of saving this again for more autumnal months, so it's going on my bottom shelf at the moment. Another book going at the bottom is Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and now the reason for this is because I would like to finish the other series before I delve into another one, and I've got 4 or 5 books of that before I even get to this. Now I do have the rest of the Shatter Me series, including the novellas. Now of course I haven't even started this series, so I think I'm going to figure out the order of these and put some on my second shelf and some on my third shelf, but realistically until I've read the first one I won't be delving into these, obviously. The next books I want to add onto this list is The Striker and The Defender. Now The Striker of course is the book 1 in this. I think there's a third book coming out soon, and I really want to read these before that book comes out. I'm not sure when it is, so I'm going to put The Striker on my top shelf and The Defender on my second shelf. I also have Finding Eden and Becoming Cadler. I've really wanted to get into these. I believe Becoming Cadler is the first one, so I'll be putting that on my first, and again this on my second. Landline by Rainbow Rowell, I've had this for quite a while and it hasn't piqued my interest to start reading it, so that's going to go on my low priority. What I would like to mention as well is if something I've put on my low priority you disagree with and you think that I should read it because it is really good, please let me know, because I'd love to know and I'd love to switch around these priorities. These are of course just going off of how I'm feeling at the moment. Next I have Wildfire and Daydream by Hannah Grace. Now I'm not sure which one is the second one. I think it's Daydream, but I could be wrong. I could be entirely wrong. So again, I'm going to first and second shelf these because I'm currently about 50 pages from finishing Icebreaker, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I don't see that opinion changing in the next 50 pages or so. So I'm going to put these on first and second and swap them around again if they're wrong. Next I have The Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden. I've read 2 to 3 Frida McFadden books so far this month and I've really enjoyed them, honestly, so I think I'm going to put 1 on my top priority because I have a few more floating around, but I would like to read some other author stuff. Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney is definitely on my top priority list because I absolutely love Normal People with all of my heart, and I'd really love to read something else by her, so that's going on my top shelf. Next I have the next 2 installments in the Something Harbour. I can't think, but this is The Gingerbread Bakery and The Strawberry Pancake Pancake House. This, I've read the first 3, these are next 2, and I believe there's a flower shop one coming out, but these aren't currently a priority. I do really enjoy them, but there's so many other books that I would rather be reading, so these are both going to go on the second shelf. This is the one I've recently picked up, and this is Servant of Earth. I saw it in the works and I haven't heard anything about it. It's definitely not something I'm prioritising at the moment, but it is something I really want to get to, so I'm going to put this on my second shelf. Once Upon a Time trilogy. Now, I don't want to take them out of this beautiful box, so for that reason only they are all going on my top shelf, but I really want to read this trilogy. I've heard incredible things, so I definitely think I might just have 1 month where I read all 3 because I really want to get to these. I have 2 more Frida McFaddens here, which is The Intruder and Never Lie, and again, as I mentioned earlier, I've put 1 on my top shelf, so these 2 are both going to go on my seconds at the moment. Love at First Sight, this is going to go on my third shelf. Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood at the moment is going to go on my third shelf, but simply because I have others to read before. I found another stack of non-priorities, so let's quickly go through them. What a Way to Go by Bella Mackie. A beginner's guide to breaking and entering. This actually looks hilarious, but it's just not something that I'm dying to read at the moment. Almost Midnight by Rainbow Rowell. This is just a short story, so I might change my mind and just flick through this. I Want to Die and I Want to Eat Tteokbokki. I do really want to read this, but again, there's a lot more things that are more piquing of my interest. The Duke and I, Bridgerton. I started reading this, got bored, put it down, but I would like to try and pick it back up and read it again. But at the moment, I'm just not feeling it. The Echoes of Us by Emma Steele. Never Never by Colleen Hoover. I kind of a funny story. Now, I'm pretty sure I have read this, but I can't remember if I have. So at the moment, again, it's not something that is a priority. I have a trilogy set here, but I only have 2 because of course, and that is Feybound and Cursebound by Sarah E. Arifi. I actually bought these because the cover was absolutely stunning and I'd really like to get into these, so I'm going to put the first book on the top shelf and that one on the second. Now I know this is going to cause some controversy. Throne of Glass. It's not a priority for me at the moment, but it is something I'd like to get to before some of the other books. But I'm still going to put it on my third shelf, and I know that's going to upset people. It's just not something I've been drawn to reading, and maybe that's a serious mistake, and I'm sure people will tell me in the comments that I'm wrong for that, and it might make me change my mind. Maybe a little bit of nice bullying would get me to read that quicker. I also have How to Train Your Dragon. I found this in the charity shop, and I'm going to Comic-Con and I'm going to see Mason, is it Thames? I think it's Thames. and McKenna Grace, and I think I might try and get him to sign this. It's not a priority for me to read at the moment, but it is only a short book and it is a children's book. The writing on it is quite large, so I could probably finish this the night before Comic-Con, so I might do that. But for the moment, it's going to go my low priority. Okay, so I have a few more for my second shelf. I have The Bones Beneath My Skin. This is a printed cover. I found another Frida McFadden. As you can see, the pile around me has slowly diminished. This is Do Not Disturb. Again, this is going to go on my second shelf. I have Redemption by Jack Jordan. This again, I think is a thriller. I've read a lot of thrillers recently, so I feel like I need a break and I need some other stuff, so this again is going on my second shelf. Lastly, I have The Cruel Prince by Holly Blackwood. The plan is as well is when the top shelf hopefully diminishes a little bit, I would slowly rotate the shelves. That's my plan. These ones I think gonna have to decide as we go, because I really don't know what I want to do with them. Funny Story by Emily Henry. I have just put, I think it's Happy Place, I've already forgotten, on the top shelf, so this is gonna go on my second one. Unearthly. I am obsessed with this cover, and I know it's a trilogy and I only have the first one. My fear is if I read this, I'm gonna be so desperate to get the next two and completely go and not read any of the others. So for that reason, it's going on my second. Any Trope But You. I've heard a lot of people say how great this is. I love that I keep the stickers on things. I'm so lazy. They just go straight on my cart. That's so bad, isn't it? So I'm gonna put this on my top shelf. Road Trip with a Vampire. I've heard this is really good. I absolutely am obsessed with the sprayed edge on this one. The only reason I'm not putting this on my top shelf is because I believe there's others to it, or they're interconnected, and I'd really love to have all of them. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it on my second shelf. But while I am here, let's take the sticker off it. Oopsie. I also have Phantasma. This is the first book. I believe it's a duology. Again, I really want to read this, but I don't want to buy the second one because I know I want to. So for that reason, I'm not going to prioritize it at the moment. It's going on my second shelf. If He Had Been With Me. I know this one has a second one, but I'm dying to read this, so I am going to put this one on my top shelf. That is my one that I am going to continue on my first shelf. Okay, so that is all of my books now officially back on their TBR cart, but in a bit more of an organised fashion, which hopefully means that when we pick my TBR at the end of February, we can start with the top shelf, and if nothing matches the prompt, we can move down and down again. I think that's going to be a really good way to do it. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post content every week, hopefully every Wednesday, but we'll soon see, as well as my TikTok, Goodreads and Instagram will all be linked below. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!